yesterday we saw this for loop. So now we're getting into the while loop. Okay, so I'll command this console.log numbers. So here, how the while loop works. So basically the while loop through a block of code, as long as the specified condition is true. Okay, so if some condition is true, until that the while loop is going to run. But here not the case. We are passing the condition in the statement itself, right? So this is the statement. Next to the statement, we are passing the increment, but here not the case. First thing is going to be a statement, and the second thing, we inside the while loop we're going to pass increment. So I will show you that thing. So the code in the loop will run over and over and again, as long as the variable, so what we give as a I is less than what we gave as a statement. Okay, so if you forgot to this, there is another problem in this while loop. For example, if you forgot to increase the variable used in the condition, the loop never end, it will crash your browser. Okay, this is one of the main thing. So I will explain it that now. So for example here, so let I equal to 0. Okay, I'm just creating one like I as a variable. So here while, so this is syntax, while takes a condition state condition. The condition is I less than 10. Okay, I less than 10, console.log giving number then plus I. Okay, so here we increment by I plus plus. So first we set the variable here I equal to 0, and then we are increment in the while statement. So while I less than 10, this loop is going to run every time. So if the increment is equal to 10 or 9, sorry, yeah, less than 10, so the loop is going to stop, right? So this is how this loop is going to work. So if I come back here and I will start inspect here, so in the console what we get, so we get 2 is my favorite, stop the loop. Why this is why loop is not working here? So this one will stop everything. So while console.log, everything is right now. Yeah, okay, now it's running. Okay, so basically this is running, so that's what it's not running. So now you see this run 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, so here I'll put WHIL while numbers. So it's a while number, so it's returning, but I'm doing this for now. So but you don't do this. Okay, without increment, I'm just going to save this file. You see now, you see this increment is keep long going, right? So it couldn't able to stop because there is no condition. We are not increment anything. It's going to look through. It's this 0 is not incrementing now. Okay, the loop is will start running, but the 0 is in the same place. But the statement what we need I less than to 10. So if this is not increment, the loop is going to run. Okay, so don't do this. I'm just close this browser for now. It takes some 2 or 3 times to, still it is running. You see, this will cause you some error or some unwanted things in your application. So don't do that. For you only, I'm just doing that. So I want to increment the I plus plus. So if I open this, the I is going to increment. Okay, so it's going to check the condition. Now now the browser not gonna hurt because we have stopped the server. Okay, with the increment of I. So you understand how the while loop is working. The same only, but the syntax is vary. Okay, but you should always want to pass the I plus plus. If not, the loop is going to crash your browser. Okay, so this is the while loop. I will give you the explanation. I will type okay, this is a simple okay, the while loop will execute the code block once. Okay, so each and every time it's going to run block 1, block 2, block 3. Okay, like that way. So once, then I'll put here before checking if the condition is true, then it will repeat the loop as long as the condition is true. Okay, so I'll keep like this. Okay, the while loop will execute the code block once before checking. Okay, before checking. If the condition is true, then it will repeat the loop as long as the condition is true. Okay, so it will check whether it is true every time. It's going to true. Once it hit the less than 10, it's going to become false. The loop is going to stop. Okay, so I'll also okay, so this is how the while loop run. But just remember, always try put this increment. If not, the browser is going to crash. Okay, so that's it. So then we have a I think,
Sir,
yeah.
if the condition is false, means what will happen, sir?
Yeah, if here this is going to become true, right? So the
Yes,
I
sir.
plus plus, it's going to become true every time. If it is less than 10 means it's going to become a false, right?
Yes, sir.
While is going to become false because we hit the condition now. So the
Yes,
loop
sir.
is going to stop. If there is no increment, the I is gonna stay with the zero. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so that's the difference. Okay, so
Okay,
we
sir.
have the do while here. So the do while, okay, don't take this as a reference. I will give you that later about the while loop definition. Okay, I will give you that later. So do while. So what the do while is going to do? The do while is a variant of while loop. This loop will execute the code block once before checking if the condition is true. Then it will repeat the loop as long as the condition is true. For example, the loop will always execute at least once. Okay, even if it is not going to check the condition or not. Every time, I will show the example, you will understand the time. Every time the loop is going to run at least once, even if the condition is false, because the code block is execute before the condition is tested. For example, what I mean here, let I equal to 100. I keep it 100. Okay, here. So this is a do while syntax, while syntax, but I never used this before, but I'm just want to show this so that I'm just going to give you some basics example. So here number, okay, this one is number, then plus I'll call the I here. Okay, this is the I. Now I console log this one. So this I, and here I'm increment the I. You see, the do is going to check, always going to increment the I here itself. Okay, after only it's going to check the while loop. So I will keep it, sorry, this one is 0, I less than 10. Okay, so if I save this without while, I'm saving the, okay, without while we couldn't do that, right? Okay, so now what I'm going to do, you see this one is do while. Okay, syntax is something very, okay, there is no difference like using a for loop, while loop, but the syntax is only going to be vary. So you see, in this case we are increment here only. Okay, so every time the loop is going to run, it's going to check 1 2 3 like that way. But here in this case, the first step is gonna increment. Okay, so even if you have the condition or not, this first step is going to increment. For example, wait, I will show you the example now. So you see the do while I 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, so what I do now, I just change to 100. Now the condition is yeah, you see the condition is also false, right? Even though this condition is not a proper way, but even though this is working, you see, I plus plus, so this is working. So that's what I said. Even if the condition is false or true, it's at least it's going to run once. So that's it. Okay, so I'll keep it like this way itself. So we ever gonna use this anywhere, but I want to show you that, so that I'm using. Okay, so do while, same thing what the for loop did and while loop did, but the syntax is vary. That's all. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to loop through the array. Okay, so looping through the array, so it is very important. Basically, when you're fetching data from some other API, I will tell you what is API later. But for now, just imagine there is a data, a bunch of data in an array. Array is what? The collection of data, right? So in that box, we have a collection of data. We're going to loop through all the data and we're going to console it. Okay, for example, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to create a loop th through array. Okay. Okay, so here what I'm going to, I'm just going to create a car here. cars equal to, cars is an array. For example, I have a Ford and have a Honda, then we have a
Bench.
then we have, so we'll keep it simple. Okay, so BMW. Okay, that's enough. Okay, so we have a 3 collections of data inside this array. For what are that? So we have the string with Ford, Honda, and BMW, right? BMW. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to loop through this array, each and every index inside the array, and I'm going to console it in a I'm going to console that. Okay, for example, for let I equal to 0, that because we need the I to increment each and every loop inside the object. So okay, before that I want to ask you some question. Const console.log cars. Now this what gonna print in the console?
Ford.
Ford, right? So it is returning Ford. Okay, cool. So you know, you understand this, right? The index start from 0. We have only two index, 0, 1, 2, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now what I'm going to do, remember this. So for let I equal to 0. Okay, I equal to 0, starting from 0. I less than car. What is the length of car?
2.
No, length of the car is 3. Okay,
3.
yeah. So the length of car is 3 here. Okay, so I'm going to increment by I plus plus. Instead of doing like the hardcode data I less than 10, we are doing with the length of the car, the array. Okay, so basically we have here what? Here we have a 3. Okay,
3.
instead, yeah. So remember that. So now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to console dot car. So each and every time this car is going to increment, this I is going to increment, right? So console.log car is an array, right? I can pass a I here. Okay, I can pass a I here. Each and every time the index I'm going to get, each and every time the loop is going to execute. First time is 0, and second time is 1, and third time is what? 3, right? So if it is less than 3, the loop is going to be stopped. Here we're going to get 2. Okay, so that's the thing. So now I will save this code. Now if I come back here, we'll get Ford, Honda, BMW. This is how we loop through the arrays. Okay, you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, everyone understand this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, super. So now the second step is we have a for each. Okay, so this is a basic for loop looping through the array, but we have some inbuilt method in a JavaScript. Okay, the called for each method calls basically a function each element in an array. Okay, basically it's going to call a function for the each element in an array. So the for each method, I will teach you about later about the callback function and high order function methods and all. For now, I'm just showing the introduction about that. So for each, okay. For EACH, okay. So the for each. So basically the for each method, why I'm saying the method here with instead of function, why I'm saying like that? Because that is that's coming from object. Okay, yesterday I told you whatever the function inside the object, what should you want to call? Method or function?
Method.
Yeah, so that's what I'm calling is a and method. Okay, for each is an method because it is coming from inside an object. For example, cars, I told you array is an, for example, I will give you the example. Okay, for just I will give you the basic example. Afterwards I will give you a nice example. For example, this car is an array, right? So this car is an array. Console.log, I'm just going to console the car here now. Okay, so what we're going to get, we're going to get the car. You see it's getting the array of index all the element. Okay, but if I open this, we see there is a prototype. Okay, I told you that array is an object. So these are all the method what we have in a array methods. Okay, just I'm going to give you some basic example. Afterward I give you the lot of examples about this. Okay, don't worry about that. So here we have the for each. Okay, so you see this is a for each. Array is an object. So whatever the method we are using from the object, it's called as a method. Okay, afterwards I will explain you what is prototype and how the methods are sitting here. We are going to do everything like the same thing in our projects and all. Okay, so don't worry about that. So this is a method. So now what I'm going to do, cost dot for each takes a function. Okay, as a function here inside this for each takes a function. The first parameter is a in car and the index. Okay, I will explain you what is going to do. So console.log, here I'm going to give a car now. Okay, so you see now I'm just using the car as an array. I'm using dot operator. How do you call the object method? Using dot or equal to?
Dot.
Dot.
Okay, so the array is an object in JavaScript. So we have some methods to that array. We are using dot operator to call the object method here. So that method call name is a for each. The for each takes an inside function. This is a callback function. I will teach you later about the callback function or all. Just stick with the syntax. Okay, this takes a function, callback function. This function takes a 2-parameter inside function. What are the things? It's a plural. Okay, sorry, not a singular, right? So it's a car and index. So here I'm consoling the car here. It's going to return Ford, Honda, BMW, right? The same thing it is returning how the for loop did, but I can get the index here. For example, for this, what I'm going to do, what is the index now? Okay, that thing we should want to understand, right? So here I'm passing the index. The index is the array index. Okay, here I'm put that car. Okay, so I'll wrap everything inside the backticks because I want to use a dynamic variable names here. So okay, so if I come back here, 0 is Ford, 1 is Honda, 2 is BMW, right? So you see 0 is Ford, 1 is Honda, and 2 is
BMW.
so basically the index is going to return the array index. Okay, that's all. When you're looping through the array, the first parameter is going to take the actual elements of the array, and the second parameter is going to take the actual index of the array. And we have a third parameter also, that is array. It's basically going to return the actual array. Okay, each and every time. For I will show you, but I never use this, so I will show you that. So array, it's going to return the actual array each and every iteration. Okay, iteration means basically whenever the loop's gonna run. Okay, first iteration, second iteration, third iteration. Okay, so I got the array. So each and every time I got the original array here. So that's the thing. So this is the 3-parameter takes the for each. Remember this takes the actual element. Here you can give whatever the name you want. Here also you can give whatever the name you want. For example, I can give whatever the name you want. If I try to console it here, it's going to give the index for me. Okay, you see, that is not a case. The name is not a case, but the actual parameter position is the case. Okay, remember that. For to make sense, I'm using this name, like almost every developer use the same way, like car, what the array they are using with this singular. Okay, so stick with this. Okay, this is the for loop. Did you understand?
Yes, sir.
But don't worry about this callback function. I'm using some newer syntax here, but don't worry. This something I'm not teaching you, but soon I will cover all these concepts. Okay, so I know that it is very not hard to understand. Just it's a syntax. Okay, that's all. So now, now we use the for each. Okay, so for each basically returns a callback function. Now, okay, just forgot the callback function. For each methods calls a function for each element in every array. Okay, this is a function. Methods calls a function for each element in an array. Because why I'm saying the each element in array, because we have a each element here, right? So until the condition is become false, so I want to call again and again. Okay, so that is how the function for loop is gonna work. So now I have a map method. This is a high order method. So when you get into React, this is the most helpful methods, the for each, maps and all. Okay, so maps basically creates a new array from calling a function for every array element. For example, map creates a new array from calling a function for every array element. Basically, array element is what are the element we have inside the array. Okay, remember this, don't forget that. Hereafter we're going to see a lot of technical words. So I will explain you everything, but stick with this. Okay, you also want to remember this. So the same thing, I just copy this here. Okay. So the same definition, map methods call a function for each element in an array. Okay, the same thing is going to happen here. So here what I'm going to do, I'm not going to use this array. I'm just going to create a user here. For example, const users. Okay, users equal to array. Inside array, I'm going to keep it as an object. ID is 1. Then the name of the person is, first name is Javed. Okay. So comma, inside the object, I'm going to have a collection of object data. So this one is ID2. This name is Sarah. So this name is 3. So this name is Steve. Okay. This one is 4. So this one is Jagan. So we have a 4 objects inside one array. So if I try to console log the user, what are we going to get?
All the objects.
All the array with the object, right? Inside we have an
Yes.
object. So here we get the each and every object here inside an object. Okay, so the length is 4. The index start from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's cool, right? So now what I'm going to do, I'm basically going to map the user ID. I need only the user ID. Okay, to do that, how do you access the only the ID of inside the object? Inside the array.
Users dot ID, sir.
Inside the array, I want to access the first object, first ID value. How can I do that here?
Dot ID, sir.
Dot ID.
We can use,
User is what? Not an object, right? User is an array.
So,
can we use the 0, 1, 2 like
Yeah, okay. We
The
use the
position.
0. So we use the 0, right? So we got the first
Yeah.
object now because it has the first index. So we got the first object. So it's going to return the ID 1 and name. So inside, what is this now? What it's returning now? Object or array?
object?
So how can I get this ID now? With using?
array index.
No. Yeah.
We are using
Yes,
currently a object.
Samina. I forgot your name. I think Asima, right? Yeah, Asima. Tell me. How can we access the ID? We now got the first index element of the array, but this index element is an object. How can we target that? Not able to unmute, sir. Okay. Wait 1 minute. Just wait 1 minute. Now, okay. Now try. Now mute and unmute. Why this is no, no, sir. Guys, now please, someone please unmute and talk to me. You can able to unmute yourself. Now try.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can unmute.
Yeah, okay. So I think the problem from your side, Asim, I think. Please check.
No, sir. Few minutes back, it was for me too, sir.
Okay, now try.
Pause was restricted like that. Something it seems.
Okay. Now I think now it's okay, right?
Yes, sir. Now it's okay.
Okay. So we got the actual object here. How can I get the object first value here? So how do you access the object value inside the object? How do you access the object value?
Now I'm able to unmute.
What, ma?
Now I'm able to unmute.
Yeah,
sir.
okay. So tell me, how can I access the first object value here? First name of the object. I want to access this one. How can I access here?
User 0 dot ID.
Yeah, so we have to put dot ID. Basically, this is an object. Whatever we want to access inside the object, we should want to call using the dot operator, right? So then only we can get the actual value of that. For example, if I comment back here, you see that 1 is returning. How can I get the name here now? What should I want to change here?
Dot
Dot
name.
name.
ID name.
So I want to put dot name so I can get the Javed. Okay. So I basically target the 0 first element of the array, and inside this is an object. So I'm using the dot operator. I'm accessing the name value here. Okay. So if it is ID, it's going to return the name of the ID value. If it is name, it's going to return the name of the value. Okay. So this is how we would access the object. So now I'm just going to loop through this array. I'm just going to get all the IDs of this array. Okay. Object arrays of the object ID. For example, here I'm just going to create a const IDs. Okay. ID is equal to user is an array, user dot map. You see user dot map. It takes a function. This function takes a user. Okay. Each and every iteration. Okay. The user. So each and every object I'm going to get in this user. For example, I'll console.log and I'll show you console.log user. Okay. If I call the user, I get each and every object here, right?
Yes, sir.
So, okay. So that's cool. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put dot ID here. That's all. I'm just going to put dot ID. So this is going to return 1, 2, 3, 4. What happen if I change this ID to name?
All the names
So
inside.
we're
the-
going to get all the name here, right?
Yes, sir.
Understand?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, that's all. Okay, so here I will just return user dot ID. Okay, so I just want to console log the IDs here. So if I console log the ID, you see this is returning as an array. That's what I mentioned here. What I mentioned, create a new array from calling a function for every array element. Okay. So the map methods call a function for each element in an array. So basically this for each not gonna return you as an array. Okay. Remember that. So for example, I just uncommand this out and I will put a return here. Okay. So here I'll put return. We'll check what the for each is going to return. Okay, for example, here I'll put the const test equal to cos dot for each. Okay, console.log test. Okay, so I'm consoling the test here. So it's returning undefined. So the console.log the test. Okay, so it should not come, right? Because it's returning inside that. Okay, because it's not an array, so that's what we are not getting. That inside only we're going to get. So yeah, we shouldn't get that here because it is undefined. Okay, because basically it's returning as an array. That's what we are getting here. We couldn't able to get that because it's returning the actual value. That's the problem. Okay, no problem here. Take this out. So this is basically going to return. I'll put so we'll keep like this way itself, no problem. So I'll put this. I will put actual this one inside and console. Okay, wait 1 minute. So console.log still also is going to be an undefined because the value is only inside that. Okay, so not a problem. Okay, chill. So I'll keep it like this way. So you see, this is now. I'll take this out. Okay, console.log here. So I'll take this out. So this is going to return each and every, like this way it's going to, it's not going to return like an array. Okay, this is going to return like an array. Map is going to return like an array, but this is not going to return an array. It's going to return the actual value of each and iteration of the array. Okay, for example, you see this one, what I mentioned here. The for each method calls a function for each and every element. So it's going to not going to return as an array, but the map is call a function for each element in an array from calling a function for every element as an array element. Okay, it's basically returning as an array of elements. So that's the difference. So it's basically returning as an array. This is not going to return as an array. So this is the difference between the for and for each and the map. Okay, so okay, so basically we now used to loop through all the objects here, right? Sorry, all the arrays here. So how can I loop through the object now? For example, here I have the user. Okay, the user equal to, I'm just going to give a first name of Javed. We'll keep it like Jagan, and the last name of Jagan, and the age is 25. Okay. So now we have an object here. This is not an array. Remember this. This, look the curly brace. Okay, this is not an object array. It's an object. So how can I for loop? How can I loop the object? Okay. So there is an for let x in user. Okay, user. What should I want to do? Console.log. Console.log. I'll show you what is x now. I want to show the x. Okay. First, I will return the x. Okay. What the x is returning. We should want to know what the x is returning, first of all. The x is returning what? First name, last name, age, right? It's only returning the name of the object, not the value. The x is returning only the name of the object, right? So how can you, I told you in the previous example, so you can get the object value using two types. One is user dot first name. So in that way, you're going to get the Jagan here, right? So I also told you some another way. What is that? You can use like this way. You can pass the first name like this way, and the same thing is going to run here, the Jagan. Okay. I told you on that day itself. So I will show you where should we want to use the object, this syntax. Okay. Mostly we're going to use the dot operator only. Sometimes you use like this way when we used to when we used to put in a loop as an object. Okay, so here what I'm going to do now, you confirm that x is going to return only the name of an object. So now what the user is returning, we'll check. Okay, the user is returning, so you see this is actually returning as an object. Don't worry about the syntax, just I'm showing the example. Okay, it's returning an actual object. The actual object is basically this one. Okay, so here what I'm going to do now, so I'll put the x back here. Okay, and I want the user is an object, x is what? The values, the name of the first name, last name, age. Okay, here I'm just going to pass it as an x. Basically how this thing is working here, you're passing like this way. Okay, instead of we get all the things from x each and every loop, so instead of doing like this way, I'm just giving the x here. So if I do that, I'm get first name Jagan, last name Javita. So I'll put Javit here. Okay, I'll put Javit here, and the last name is 25. The age is 25. Understand?
A little bit confusing.
Okay, no problem. So the thing is, where is the object? Okay, so here I told you two things here, right?
Yes, sir.
You remember this?
Yes, sir.
First thing is we used to call the dot first name. It's going to return the Jagan, and the second thing we used to call the last name. This syntax, right?
Yeah.
This is going to return the Javit. Remember this. Okay, remember this. So I'm coming back to my loops here. So here we have an what? This is an object. Okay, so I'm going to console log users dot first name. Okay, what is going to return?
Jagan.
Jagan, right? So it's returning Jagan basically. Okay, I will just command these things out. So now it is returning Jagan. Okay, so I told you the another syntax to get the object values. So that is a user. Instead of using dot, we can use to put the string like here, like this way. Now this one is what is going to return. FIRST. Now this is what is going to return. The same thing, right?
Jagan, yes.
Sir.
So both Jagan are printing out here. Okay. So if I try to change this last name here, what is going to return?
Javed.
So it is returning Javed. Okay. So you understand this, right? The both syntax. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So now what I'm going to do for, okay, for let to loop through the object, you should want to use the syntax. So there is no other options. For let x. Okay, I'm here. You can give whatever the variable here you want. Okay, I'm just making it as an x. Okay. So then wait, I will give like a object name. Okay. Obj name. Okay. In user. I need only the name here. Okay. Only the name. What is the name? This is the name. This is the value, right? Name, value, name,
Yes.
value. So I'm just put the object name in users. So console.log object name. What I'm going to get? What is the name here in this object?
First name, last name, age.
Okay. So I get first name, last name, age, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now console.log. Okay. What is the user? User is object or array?
Object.
So
Object.
object. I told you one syntax, right? So this is the
Dot
syntax. Okay.
operator and yeah.
With you couldn't able to do with dot like that way. You should want to give this one. Okay. So we'll
Okay.
try with the dot now. Okay. Dot. I'm just going to pass the object name. I think it's gonna work. You see, not. It's going to return undefined. Okay. That's what I said. The syntax is not gonna work inside the loop. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to give the array of what should I want to pass here to access the value of name object.
Object name.
Object name, right? So if we come back here, I get the Jagan, Javed, and 25, right?
Yes, sir.
You understand now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So here I'll just make it in a single way. So console.log. I'll put x. Then I'll put this.
Sir, we have used obj name.
Yeah, sorry. Okay. Here I'll put user object name. So now I get first name Jagan, last name Javed, and age is 25. Okay. So this is
Okay, sir. Got it.
this is how you want to loop through the object. So remember this. Okay. So now we have I just want to show you the block level scope and local scope. Sorry, the global scope and the block level scope. Basically, it is very important to know. For example, here I'll just command this out. Okay, just I will command whenever you want. You just make uncommand and test it out in your code. So at last, the scope. After that, we'll close this loop and scope. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to give the var I equal to 5. Okay. First of all, we should want to know what is global scope. Okay. I created the I equal to 5 here. Okay. I created the I equal to 5. Now the concept, what we want to understand, where the I is going to sit. Okay. So we created the I. Okay. That's cool. So if I access the console.log I, I'm getting the value, right? What I'm going to get?
5.
5.
Okay, so we know we are getting 5, but where the 5 is coming, that's the thing what we should want to understand, right? So most of the people not going to teach you this, but here the window. Okay, what is the window? Window is basically, this is the window, right?
Visible screen, yeah.
Yeah, this is the part of window. I'm just going to console the window here. Okay, I don't want to give the console.log window basically because we are actually in the console. Okay, I don't want to give console.log like that way. So I used to console the window here. The window is returning as an object or array.
Object.
Why you saying that object?
Because of curly braces.
Okay, that's cool. That's all. Okay, so here I'll open this object. Okay, I'm coming down. I'm just scrolling down a little bit. Where is the I now? This is the I we are created, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So now the I is sitting in the window. Okay. So
Yes.
that it could be accessible anywhere in our application. Okay.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So this is the global scope. Okay. Whatever you are creating inside the document, this is going to be available in your global scope. Okay. So you can call this variable wherever you want, inside the function, outside the function, or inside then a loop, or everywhere you can call this. Okay. So I'm going to give you some basic example, not the basic example, this is the actual example. I'm just going to give a for var I equal to 0. Okay. I told you I already created this I in a global scope. I'm using a var I equal to 0 here. Okay. I equal to 0. I So okay, first of all, I will show you some other thing. Now I'm just going to change this var I equal to 4. Okay. Now what do you think this I is gonna have, 5 or 4?
4.
4.
Okay, so I will put the console log window here. Okay, I'll put the console.log window here. So if I used to put, I get the window here. Okay, so that I couldn't want to able to do the console.log window here. Basically, we are in a console.tab, so that we should want to use the method. I'm using console.log and window. So if I open this, so first of all, I will show you some other thing. So ABCD. Sure, okay, I will show you that later. Okay, no problem. So now you see the 4 got changed to the I got changed to 4, right?
Yes, sir.
Basically, we reassign this I again here, so the value is going to be changed. If I take this out, what now the I is going to be 5.
5.
So if we come and check
5.
back, yeah, okay, if I come and check back here, the I is 5. Okay, so the second step, you see, we also created the object here, right? The user object. So this is also is in the global object. So this is where this is going to be inside the window only, right?
Yes, sir.
So we'll check this there. The user is HIJ. Okay. Where is the user object? User is an object, right? So name. Okay, wait, we'll check. Where is the user? FGQILMNOPQ. PQRSTUV. Where is the user here? So we'll type the user here. USDR. We'll check whether it is user. User is an object. If I put I here, why the user is not showing? Where is the user? User OPQRSTUV OPQRS. I don't know where it is sitting. Wait 1 minute. Why it is not showing? Q or S T. Here only it should want to return, but why it's not showing here? Okay, if I put I, what I'm getting here? I. 5 is returning here. Okay, so if I used to put USCR here, so the user is returning here. Okay, basically it's sitting somewhere in here only. It's actually there, but I don't know where is it sitting. You see the value we are getting. Okay, we'll check that later, no problem. So where is the user here? Why this user is not showing? Is it inside? Okay, we'll check that later, no problem. Okay, so leave that. So now you see the I is visible here. Okay, whatever you are the thing you are creating, it's going to sit inside to this window. So now what I'm going to do, so when I reassign the I, so the value also going to change. Okay, so remember that. So now for I less than 0, okay, I less than I sorry I equal to 0. Now the I is going to change basically, right? Because we are reassigning that I. Okay, so I less than 10. I'm used to put I plus plus, then I should want to call console.log I here. Okay. So now you see this I is start from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So if I open this now again, we'll go and check the I. Okay. What the I changed to 10. You see? This I changed to
Yes, sir.
10. Basically, this I is going to affect this I. This is what the global scope problem. Okay. Now I will explain you how this going to happen when we use the let. Okay. So this is the var I. So okay. So here I'm just going to create a here what I'm just going to do. I just command this out. Okay. I just command this out. So here let I equal to 5. Okay. Let I equal to 5 for let I equal to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus. Okay, for now just I will command this out. We'll go and check the I. Is there I is in the window or not? Okay. So if I come back here, where is the I here? Why it is not showing properly in the browser nowadays? We created the I. So console log.
Console.log I.
Wait. Console.log I, we can get the 5 here. Okay. So I know that. But we should want to see the I here. Okay. Because it's going to sit inside here only. Why this I is not coming here? That's the problem now. I should want to show you that I now. So I. Where is the I? So length. We are not. If I create any I afterwards, so just call it I share. So here we have the I. So I is going to return 5. Okay. So why the I is not visible here? That's the problem now. Here only we should want to get that I, but here the I is not. It will refresh this again. So if I used to come back and see why the I is okay, no problem. So I think is there any update happened in this browser? I think that's what is not showing properly. Get params. We get the I. Is there any window here? Wait 1 minute, we'll check that also. So this one should the window, another window. So if I come back here also, I'm not getting that I, right? So basically I'm not, why the I is not visible here? I should want to check it this again. So, okay, no problem. You see, when I put I here, okay, when I put I here, this I is returning some data for me, right? So you see this I is returning, basically it is in a global scope. Okay, remember that. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put I equal to 0. Last time we use a var. Okay, this I got affected, but this time it's not going to affect that. So here console.log I. Okay. So now you see this I is basically 5. Okay. This I is basically 5. This I is not gonna affect this I. Okay. So this is the power of let. Okay. So when you use the var,
In
this is
case of war, what will happen, sir? Will it come fully 5?
what?
In case of war, will it affect, sir? I didn't see that.
You didn't see that. Which one? This one.
Where? In case of where, what will happen, sir?
In case of square.
Where? VAR. In case of let it.
Okay. Var. Okay. So you see now I'm using a var I equal to 5. Okay. Where I equal to 5. Now the I, I'm just take this out the window. Okay. So I'll put the console.log I here, console.log I. So what is the I value now?
5.
So I got the 5 here. Okay, I got the 5. Okay, everything is cool. Now if I try to change this, okay, let I equal to var, here I'll put var I equal to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus, this I is also going to affect. Okay, so you see, once I load this, why this, okay, so I want to put this here. Okay, I will just put the here. So now basically this I is returning I. Okay, here the I is 5. After once it run, I'll put here. Okay, the I is so you see here the test I is 5. Okay, this I becomes 5 here basically. Okay, after once this code run, the for loop runs, this I got affected. That's what the I is returning, what, the 10. Okay, you understand? So this is basically a global scope. This var is going to affect the I basically outside of the global scope. Now I am just going to do this in a let. Okay, so here I'll console the let test. Okay, let test high, and I call the I here. Okay, if I run this in the both place, the I is going to be same because this I is going to available only inside to this block. Okay, so if I come back here, you see this let test 5 and 0 to 9 is got run, and here also the let test is 5. This I and this I is not same. It's not going to collide with each other. Okay, you understand?
Yes, sir.
Guys, you understand?
Yes, sir. Understood.
Okay, cool. So, bro, hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now this is a block global scope and block level scope. Block level scope is basically a piece of block. Okay, this inside only the curly brace is going to available this I, not outside of the scope. Okay, this is the difference between the block level scope and global scope. So that a lot of people say when using for loop, always try to put let here. Okay, that's what whenever I use the for loop, you see I'm always using let here. You see inside the for loop, this here also I'm using where here also I put let. Okay, here also I put let, here also I put let. So each and every time I'm basically calling let only. Don't use var anywhere in your application hereafter. So always stick with let. If the variable is values not gonna change, stick with const. Okay, so this is the thing, don't use the var. The var is going to be do some weird things, though. That's the thing. So I will just keep the some here. Okay, the first in the first example, using var, the variable dcla are declared in the loop declares. Okay, so dcla declares. Then what happened? So the variable outside of the outside of side of the loop. Okay, so that's basically a global scope. So in the second example, what happened? Using let, the var declare in the loop does not declares declare. Okay, redeclare the variable outside of the loop. Okay, so when I will just give you some another explanation also. When let is used to, when the let is used to declare, okay, the I variable in a loop, the I var will only be visible within the loop. So this is the simple definition. Okay, so just stick with it. So hereafter we are not going to use var. So once I get into some advanced topic, I'm going to use with only the var. Okay, because I want to show you the how the ES5 is basically working. So these are the syntax or ES6, the new version of JavaScript, let and const. The var is the old version of. So these are the problems we have in a var keyword. So that we just going to stick with let and const. Okay, so today's session is over. I push all the code here into the GitHub. You go and pull it out. So is there any doubt today's session?
Sir, so if we are using declaring a variable using let or const, so they are global.
Yeah, they are global, but if you use to put inside this block using the let, it's not going to affect the outside of the global scope. Okay.
Okay.
That's the difference. If you use to put the var and var here, it's this one is going to actually affect this one. Okay, but if you use to put I inside this I is only going to available only here only. Okay, I can put how many for loop I want. This I is different, this I is different. Okay, if I come back here, you see this I is different. Okay, again I'm start to run 0 to 1 here to 9. Okay, so this I is going to only available only to this scope of the block. Okay, so this is here.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, understand?
Okay.
So don't worry, when we get into projects, we will have some lots of example. Block level scopes. Okay. So this is a block level scope. Block means this, the curly brace. Okay. So that's all. So basically, if you, when you used to put in like this way, this global level scope. Okay. So remember this. So this is a global scope and this is a block scope. There is a function scope. I will teach you that later. Okay. When we get into the pure function, and I will teach you all this function scope. Okay, there is only 3 levels of scope. One is block, one is global, one is function scope. Okay, the function scope basically it's going to the variable is going to available inside only the function, not outside there anywhere. Okay, I will give you that later. For example, now itself I will give that also. Okay, so here I'm just creating a function. Okay, the function takes a name of x. Okay, here I'll put let, not let. Yeah, okay, var. Even if you use the var, oh, no, okay, no problem, I will give you that later. Okay, no problem, now this is not a good time, so I will give that later. So here I'll put my code into my GitHub, git init, git add, up to,
Sir, commit.
yeah, up to loops. So git so go and pull this code. Okay, once you, when you start to learn this, so this code got updated in GitHub. So go and pull the request from GitHub. Okay, already have everyone has got the access, so you just go and pull all the code. So just to work it out, this is the basics. Okay, the fundamentals is completed. So tomorrow onwards we're going to get into the DOM manipulation. After that, objects and functions, we're going to do some projects and all. Okay, we have also learned about the API, and there is a lot of stuff to learn. So these are the fundamentals. So we saw variable, data types, types conversion, numbers, string, templates, strings, array, object, date, if, switch, function, loops. That's all. Okay, just go and practice this from 1 to 13. Tomorrow when you come, I will just ask some questions. When I start DOM, I will give you lots of workout daily for the exercise. Just please follow the exercise. Okay, so
Yes,
today
sir.
we'll
Sir,
go
tomorrow Saturday, so are we going to have a class?
Saturday.
Sir.
We can keep tomorrow class if you have no problem.
Actually, if we can get time to learn this,
Yeah,
go
okay,
through
brother,
this
no
all
problem.
13,
So tomorrow we not having class.
we'll
Okay.
have on Monday directly. That
Yeah,
will be
okay,
good.
no problem. We can have a class on Monday. Okay.
Sir.
Okay,
Okay, please do practice. If you have any doubt when you practice, please let me know in my message box. I will help you out. Okay.
Sir,
Sure.
after October 12, what timing, sir? I will not be able to attend, sir.
On Monday.
After October 12th.
After October 12th. Okay, will
Yes.
when you will be free on October 12th.
I don't know, sir. Like after going only, I will know when I will be able to reach like that. I
So okay,
not
you
able to
go
see.
and let me know that. Okay. After
Okay.
that, we can
Sir,
plan that as per your wish. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, brother. Tell me.
sir, I am asking from a long time for YouTube videos.
What's that?
Sir, for the recorded videos, sir, in YouTube.
They
there is
send you no
some-
today.
Sir, that is for Tamil only. They send me daily, sir.
Okay. Okay. So
In
Actually-
YouTube
wait one
form,
minute. Wait
sir.
one
We
minute.
want
Wait.
in YouTube, sir, not as a Zoom one.
So what you do today? You just call to Ilyas Bhai. Okay.
Okay, sir.
You have a Ilyas Bhai number.
Ah, yes, sir, I have.